Hey there students, it's Mr. Boyd again with another lesson in algebra. Today's lesson is going to be on solving quadratic equations by factoring. This is actually the second video that I've created on this. The first video, all of the equations were already set equal to zero. So this one's going to go a little deeper into what if they're not set equal to zero. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I would recommend that you write these 4 steps into your notes and study those. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into the examples. I'm going to leave the your turns for you guys, but I'm going to do each of these examples that are on the left. Okay, so this looks like it's already in factored form, so I need to set each factor equal to 0 and solve. So my first factor is x, so I'll set that equal to 0. And then I will set x plus 5, my second factor, equal to 0. And what I'm using here is the zero product property, which says if you have the product of 0, and you guys know this from all your years in math, that to get a product of 0, either the first factor has to be 0 or the second factor has to be 0. So what we're doing here is we're trying to figure out what x goes in this position to make this entire factor right here equal 0. Because if we have 0 here, it doesn't matter what x is up front. 0 times anything else is going to give us a product of 0. And the reason we set this equal to 0 is because we're looking for the x-intercepts, or where this graph, we'll look at graphs later on, but where this graph actually crosses the x-axis. Okay? So then to solve this, of course this is a one-step equation. We want to use inverse operations to isolate x. So we would subtract 5 from both sides and get x equals negative 5. So here our solution set would be negative 5, comma 0. And let's move on. All right, example number 2. Notice this is not set equal to 0. I want 0 on the right-hand side. So to get 0 on the right-hand side, I would need to subtract 10x. Well, if I'm going to do that, I've got to subtract 10x from the left-hand side. Remember, this is called the subtraction property of equality. Okay, now I can't physically subtract this 10x from either of these because they're not like terms, but I can write it as all one expression on one line, which is what we learned back when we did rearranging formulas back in section 2. If you need to, go back and review that lesson. You can either review it on Algebra Nation or go to YouTube and look up a video. There's also notes in the digital notebook on this. Okay, so now we need to look at factoring this left side. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw our x real quick. I see that a times c, okay, remember a is the coefficient in front of the x squared, b is the coefficient on the x term, and c is the constant. All right, so a times c would give us 16x squared. We need two numbers that give us a sum of the middle, which is negative 10x. Okay, so now I'm looking for an e and an f, two factors that multiply to give me 16 and add to give me negative 10. Well, when I explore that idea, I notice that negative 2 times negative 8 equals positive 16, and negative 2 plus negative 8 equals negative 10. Next, we're going to write these as a ratio, ax over e and ax over f. Now, if you're still using the box method, feel free, that's fine. I'm going to use the ratio method because it's a little bit faster. Okay, so if I do ax over e, then that would give me x over negative 2. When I write ax over f, that would give me x over negative 8. Well, these are my two factors. The first factor comes from the first ratio, which is x minus 2. And the second ratio comes from the second factor, which is x minus 8. Okay? And when we look at this, we can tell that, well, let's set each one equal to 0. and then we would solve. So here I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Over here I would add 8 to both sides. Just trying to isolate x like we did back when we learned how to solve one-step equations. Okay? So my two solutions that I have are the numbers 2 and 8. Okay? All right, let's move on down to a little bit more difficult example down here. So the first thing I need to do is subtract 6 from both sides. Because again, I need to have 0 on the right-hand side before I can factor. Okay, now the next thing I notice is that all of these numbers are divisible by 3. Now I can go ahead and factor out a 3, and that would make these numbers, these coefficients, smaller and make the factoring process a little bit simpler. So I'm going to go ahead and factor out a 3 from this equation. So let's see. 18 divided by 3, that would leave me with 6x squared. Negative 3 divided by 3 would leave me with a negative 1x. And 6 divided by 3 would leave me with a negative 2. Okay? Now, because I'm solving an equation and not just factoring, now if I was just factoring this, I would have to show this factor as one of my factors. But since I'm solving an equation here, I can simply divide by 3 on both sides and eliminate that, which is going to leave me with 6x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. Now we can go ahead and look at the factoring process. So here a times c would actually equal negative 12x squared, and b is negative 1x. So I need an e and an f that add up to negative 1, but multiply to give me negative 12. Well, we've already explored these factors for negative 12 before, and when we did, we noticed that 3 times 4 are one number apart, so that means their difference is going to be 1, and since I need a negative 1, I'm going to put the negative on the 4. Okay? So now I'm going to write my two ratios, ax over e, which is going to be 6x over 3. And then I'm going to put my ax over my f factor, which is going to give me 6x over negative 4. Then I'm going to simplify these if I can. So I notice that 6 over 3 I can actually simplify down to 2x over 1 by dividing the numerator and denominator by 3. So my first factor is going to be 2x plus 1. Can I simplify the second one? Well, sure I can. I can divide this one by 2 also. So if I simplify that, that would be, let's see, 6x divided by 2 would give me a 3x. Negative 4 divided by 2 would give me a negative 2. And that's in simplest form. So my second factor is 3x minus 2. Okay? Next, I'm going to set each factor equal to 0 and solve. So I've got 2x plus 1 equals 0, or 3x minus 2 equals 0. And let's see, I need to subtract 1 here. And that's going to give me a 2x equals negative 1. Next, I'll divide by 2. About to run out of room here. Some of these take a little bit of work. And so I see that my solution is actually right here. So x equals negative 1/2 is going to be this left-hand solution. Okay? Let's go ahead and do the second one. So here I would add 2 to both sides. That's going to give me 3x equals 2. And then I would turn around and divide by 3. And so here I can see that x equals 2/3 is my other solution. So let's see here. I'll go ahead and write my solution set right here. So my solution set would include negative 1/2 and 2/3. Okay? All right, let's move on down to this next example. I'm going to erase this stuff, so make sure you've got this in your notes. Actually, no, I think I'll just move this problem down a little bit and over to the left. So let's see, x times 2x minus 1 equals 3 is the example that I want to do here. Okay? Now you might think this is factored, but remember this has to equal 0. So I need to incorporate this back into this side of the equation. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to first distribute. And then I'm going to subtract the 3 from both sides because I need this to equal 0. Again, I can't add that or subtract that 3 from either of the other terms because it's not a like term with an x on it. Okay, now I can look at factoring this left-hand side. So I want you guys to notice I had to put this back together, distribute, and then move the constant across, and now I'm ready to factor the left-hand side. So here I see a times c would be negative 6x squared, and my middle term is negative 1x. So I need a product of negative 6 and a sum of negative 1 out of my e and f term. So let's see. Two numbers, let's see, how about 2 times 3? And we'll put the negative on the 3 because it has to add up to a negative 1. So then if I look at my ax over e, then that's going to be 2x over 2, which of course simplifies down to x over 1. And then if I look at my ax over f, that's going to be 2x over negative 3, and that one's simplified as much as it can be. So my first factor is x plus 1, and my second factor is 2x minus 3 equals 0. Okay? Set each factor equal to 0 and solve. So we can see that this one's going to be negative 1. Let's write this one out, though, because this one can get a little tricky. So we would add 3 to both sides. So now I've got 2x equals 3, and then I would divide by 2. And so x equals 3 over 2 would be my solutions. So my solution set would consist of negative 1 and 3 halves. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. As I have time, I will do another video on the word problems that you see down below here. This concludes this video. If you learned something from this, go ahead and click on the subscribe button and the thumbs up button, and you can get notifications whenever I put out new videos. Hope you guys had a good day, are going to have a good day.